Okay, so I'm going to touch on a topic that I honestly don't touch on very much. I've been coaching a lot more lately, and a question that I get a lot is typically how do I train better, or like why do I do well in training but not competition? And one of the general things that I think I figured out is a lot of you love winning at training, and I think it's hindering a lot of you. And let me tell you why. So training to win and winning at training are both very, very different things. Here's why. So I'm going to do a quick comparison to like boxing, just because honestly it's something I have no experience in boxing. But let's say you put me up, even against Mike Tyson, for example, against anyone. And if my objective is to beat him, I will go and punch him as hard as I can and hope to God that I get him. That's just how it's going to be, right? But if you told me I had to train to beat him, I'd have to train to learn how to read him, right? So what that goes into is that a lot of you guys at training, you're only practicing to win, which means every time that opportunity comes up, you're going to take that hit that you think is going to win you the bout, but you're not practicing to set up that hit. So does that make sense? If you're winning at practice, right, and a lot of that comes down to the generally time between touches, right? There's be a lot of hits in the middle of the strip, a lot of hits that last, something like 10 seconds. That's not enough in generally in fencing, right? Time to touch is probably well over 20 to 30 seconds. So how do we practice that? And that's one thing I've noticed, right? Because if you're doing all your touches on a whim, sometimes people aren't ready. They just happens. You go to competition and you realize that people are fencing a lot safer and they tend to lock everything down. So then, during a camp, I decided to run this to a test. We did a big pool of 15 and I fenced everyone. And I did my dangest to really just lock down those first few points, right? So, get a 2-1 lead, 3-1 lead, 2-0 lead, what have you. And if I was down, obviously, I do my best to catch it up. But my only goal was to take at least 30 to 45 seconds between touch and even just lock it down. Just borderline do nothing. And watch people melt down as I'd realized that they had no idea how to build touches. And that's a lot because of of how they were practicing. And I wish I had known that, right? I've been doing camps. I wish I'd realized that earlier because I think it's a huge hindrance to a lot of people. Some people do it naturally, but most don't. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by locking down? It just means, someone comes forward, I keep my tip on their hand, I back up. They come forward, I keep my tip on their hand, I back up. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. And all of a sudden, they would just melt down and try their best action out of nowhere. So, because of that, right, their best action worked on their friends and worked on everyone else. At competitions, it works for them. But then at one point, they plateau hard. Yeah, and I feel like hopefully that's, right, that's a lot of you can relate. And perhaps even, right, some of you guys will feel like, hey, I'm grinding like 4 or 5 times a week. Why is my training going nowhere? And honestly, this is probably it. You want to win? You're like, oh my God, I'm not getting any hits at practice. Well, you're only practicing your hit, right? I'm only trying to get that knockout punch, and I don't know how to set that punch up, right? So there's a fantastic video I watched about how a lot of fighters don't always spar to win, right? Because if you spar to win, you're absolutely going to be in absolute murder mode. You're just going to go for those killer hits, and you're never going to practice those reflex hits or how to build a hit. So I hope you're still following on this. You're going to have to turn off your killer instinct and accept that you're going to lose some hits, especially at practice. Learn to wait your hits to out and learn to win. So we're going to make a drawing, okay? Here's a drawing. Pencil, we're good. It's going to be in black. Right, so I have, let's say this is, a room. And this room could be, the path to success. Our end goal is roughly around here, and then we start here. right? The most direct way to here is a straight line, right? If we want to get to the other side, or, you know, our winning touch is the straight line. If you go into practice and all you're saying is, I'm going to get this straight line, you're going to get it relatively often. But generally what happens at a lot of competitions or a lot of stressful environments, people lock things down, right? And the locking down of things is usually this big box in the middle, just labeled patience. Right? People just wait things out. They just wait. So this big box represents patience, or even just any obstacle, right? Patience. And then, right, this could also be filled with, right, parries or counterattacks, what have you, right? There's a lot of boxes. So if you now, all of a sudden, I have wrecked your goal by just adding something in front, right? Whether it's a parry, whether it's a distance parry, just backing up. I have wrecked your goal. Your straight line plan is now obscured and keeps failing. And we don't know what to do about it, right? How about but? And because that failed, that'll frustrate us or what have you. If you make your goal to get to the other side, not go to the other side in a straight line, right? So a difference in mentality. My goal is to get to the other side. It is not to go get the hit, right? It is to practice getting that hit. So then all of a sudden, yeah, at first you'll start going around, right? Yeah, you'll get stuck here. Cool. Right? Maybe I didn't choose the right parry. I didn't choose the right distance. I didn't work on it. Next time, yeah, absolutely. Oh, boom, I got here. And all of a sudden now you're starting to learn. And then we start realizing that once we start going here, you know, people do a parry, people start doing a distance parry. Oh man, this box got pretty big. But naturally, we're just going to find, right? It's just how it works. As we train ourselves to learn and think, our brains are like we're going to evolve to learn how to think properly. But if you go back to square one, and all we think about is the straight line, we're not reinforcing any good habits. I promise. So learn to build your hits, right? Like this box in the middle could be a lot of things. Parries, counterattacks, distance. You got to learn to watch it. And I'll be honest, the most common thing that we can learn or that I've noticed is, you know, time between touches. Time. Honestly, even if you can just have the wherewithal or the patience to just wait. Just wait. Sometimes it'll just happen, right? Get out of your comfort zone. Right? This straight path is way too comfortable, and when it doesn't work, we then start to feel like our training is going nowhere. Right? We're not doing anything with our time, and typically that will lead to fencing burnout. So I'll give you an example. All right, let's just say my goal for today is to go for, let's say, I want to do a nice thigh hit, right? So I'm leading my action. I want to do hand, thigh, right? Up, low. Then all of a sudden, no one's giving me the thigh. So the frame is I want to get a thigh hit. So why are they giving me the thigh, right? Am I failing because I'm not getting it? You're too close. And then sometimes we'll do the right motion for a thigh hit, right? You'll go up low, and that person will go back, right? They'll just kind of pull their leg back. That's absolutely fine. I consider that a success. You got them to be afraid of the thigh hit, so you must absolutely reprogram yourself. Maybe flesh, go back, hit the hand. Respect every single frame of your action. So with all of this, what comes next? A lot of losing. Very likely you're going to lose a lot of hits. But a lot of that is attached to your ego. Let it go. It's fine. Let go of this, and you'll eventually win. If you lose and you don't know why, that's a big problem. If you've lost a hit and you're like, oh, like your only answer is I should have hit harder. I should have hit faster. How did I set that up? Fencing is a 2-people game, right? It's 2 people fencing. Sometimes even 3 if you really want to count the referee. And now, how does this translate to competition? Well, all of a sudden, right? We've built so many blocks. We've built our resistance to so many blocks, right? We find the cracks. There's a block, right? This is the box of patience. We've learned how to deal with that. And now suddenly cracks start opening up, right? There's hallways, what have you. And then all of a sudden, we learned that we like people who counter. So the counter box is actually really small. And then all of a sudden, we're just getting hit left and right. Take your time. Go get it. So I hope you like this short breakdown, but I really think that once you start learning to lose, dropping the ego, and let those hits play out. Don't worry about winning. Don't worry about the action. And once you go from there, good luck. I think once you've dropped the ego, winning a competition will come because you'll accept that you've lost at training. And that's where it goes. Good luck and have a fantastic day.